It is time to move on to our first match of the day. It is going to be Liquid versus Vici Gaming. I'm Zyori, this guy's Trent, and we have an elimination match to get things started. One of the Goliaths will be going home after this game.
I hope we got up early. Man, if you're watching this on the rebroadcast, you screwed up. You got to be there live. You want to be there. You want to be there in the chat. You want to see everyone blowing up. Because this is it. Elimination. 2 teams. They could have won this thing, but they're going to be out of here. Somebody's donezo.
Somebody is donezo. So Liquid, Vici, Trent, both of them have had a difficult trek throughout this tournament. I know we talked about it in the pre-show a little bit, but right now, what's the gut feeling? What's your inner stats man saying? What's your money on?
Ooh, who's my money on? It has to be Liquid, honestly. In terms of just like overall rating, I'm going to have to put them higher. But Vici obviously have a perfectly good chance to take this victory. There's no doubt about that, so it should be a good game.
Any key heroes that have come? We didn't really get to talk about hero stats
Elder
right now.
Titan,
but now that we've had 3 days, it's kind of interesting to look at some of the win rates. Disruptor is the one that stood out. He's been picked the second highest pick rate in the tournament, and he has not won that many games.
Yeah, people becoming more familiar with them. Maybe some of the counter heroes being picked more, like you think about like Juggernaut or like Lifestealer or something like that. Heroes that aren't going to be punished by that glimpse, or people being more prepared for counter initiations in terms of big team fights. Much of Disruptor's success, we all know, kind of came from the old Naga Siren. So if you're not getting that perfect combo, it might be a little harder to make perfect use of that hero. So, but I think in terms of heroes for this matchup, definitely Elder Titan should be the biggest one. Whoever has first pick, I'm guessing will try and let it slip through, and they'll just take it first overall.
Yeah, Death Prophet is the other one that comes to mind. I know she's been picked in a lot of these matches, and she also has a pretty darn good win rate. We've seen so many games. I mean, that was the Pain Gaming, the Weehaw Death Prophet. He looked unstoppable. We've seen DP almost transition into this more aggro hero. You know, instead of being that lane force that just knocks down towers, she's getting involved early. As soon as that Yule Scepter comes out, she's looking for blood. Even
before the Yule Scepter, we're getting like double nulls, and they're just running at people and trying to enable maybe like a position 4 or something, and then therefore transitioning some greedier heroes onto those side lanes. Maybe someone who doesn't want to join those earlier fights.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about DP being like a staple for the Chinese scene, DP and Bane being big over there, and it seems like it's shifted and everyone's playing Death Prophet now, not really locked to one region.
Yeah, she's definitely the hero at the current moment, it feels like. But are we going to see that Arc Warden again today, of course? That was certainly something, maybe a little bit cheesy, a little bit cheeky, bringing out that guy.
Worth bringing up. The Ori Arc Warden. We saw it kind of dominate, though that was also a weird match. They were playing against LGDFY. And I think you had remarked that felt like Ori could have been on almost any hero that game. It didn't really need to be the Arc Warden. They won a lot of those kind of 4v5 fights while Arc Warden was still coming online.
That Wombo combo. I would actually be a little bit worried about the Vici Wombo combo right now, because that can, again, kind of be, much like the Arc Warden can be substituted in that game, you can mix up this like Faces Forward or Warlock or something like that. It can be any 2 heroes in tandem, just doing those big Wombo combos like that. You got to be worried.
Impressive.
They executed extremely well in all of those. So
like 5 team fights in a row. Chrono, as soon as Chrono ends, the rock comes down, and then the team just gets obliterated.
And you got to ban, I mean, you might still want to ban that Disruptor. I mean, obviously Faith, very good at it. So Faith, that's not the right team. We're talking about Vici Gaming here.
You're right.
It's okay.
Faith is a great Disruptor player. You were right about
however, he's also good at it. But
that's true.
Like, you got to ban Fenrir's Keeper of the Light. Got to ban. Are you going to ban this Warlock in the first phase?
Let's look at our featured matchup, because we've got a couple players here. It's Miracle and Ori. This is Goliath on Goliath. There's no David and Goliath here. It's 2 Goliaths. Both of these players very well known for their mechanical skills.
Yeah, Ori was getting quite a bit of praise over at the old Katowice as well. Playing exceptionally well there. Carried quite a few of those games. Wasn't enough in the grand finals, sadly, but
Miracle
definitely looking the best he has.
One of the younger players in the scene, but since he found some footing, he has just kind of felt unstoppable. You know, one of those mid laners that I think everyone fears to go up against in some regard.
Yeah, his PL game was one of the first times where it kind of felt like, did Miracle just kind of, what happened?
And look how close their stats are as well. I mean, this really gives you some perspective on how even that matchup is.
I'm not sure about that net worth. Average net worth, 9.3K per match. Have they been winning that fast? My God. Team Liquid, please.
Well, our Arc Warden will help buff up those stats a little bit. You know, cooldown reduction with the Midas, the Tempest double.
You're in there.
It's
early.
Close.
I'm sorry. We're doing our best. Oh, look at that. Look at a draft.
We've got a draft, boys and girls. Liquid Vici, it starts now. And let's take a look at some of these early bans. Trent, a lot of heroes that you had mentioned. Naga Siren, DK, and Bane banned out by Liquid, and Wisp, Coddle, Elder Titan taken out by Vici.
They tried. They were like, well, we're first pick, so we're going to try and get Elder Titan. But I think he was the most likely guy to slip through, but couldn't quite get there. So we moved to the cores. The Gyrocopter, the Razor is also still in there, if we want to think about that. And still the Disruptor, too, but no Naga Siren to combo up with it.
And the Sand King. So it's two pretty common, very safe picks. We've definitely seen why Gyrocopter feels like a value choice. And Witch Doctor kind of following that same line. He's been that really aggressive support. We've even seen him in the kind of aggro off-lane type scenario in a couple situations. The Maledict has proven to be very potent. And didn't we see that yesterday? It was like the Witch Doctor mixed with the Venomancer, mixed with the Veil on top of it.
Yeah, that was pretty absurd.
The damage output was obnoxious.
Yeah, certainly so. So whoever else they pick, very well enabled. I mean, this is a pretty good kill duo, right? If you just roam, you just like smoke up when you're both level 6, you can kill anyone virtually. Just Burrow Strike, Maledict, Witch Doctor, ulti. They're probably going to die.
Yeah, absolutely. And always worth mentioning, could be that position 3 Sand King. Feels exceptionally rare right now, but grabbing him first always makes you think twice as you're going through this draft. Earth Spirit now going to be the second for Team Liquid, so a great roaming 4 there to try to counteract the efforts of this Sand King Witch Doctor duo.
That's how they took their win in their first game when we did Liquid LFY. It was the old GH Earth Spirit there. So not his most popular hero anymore, with the Elder Titan and the Coddle and the Io being much more prominent for him. But when those 3 are banned out, well, I guess that means we're picking Earth Spirit.
Yeah. Kind of, it's almost a compliment,
what
right?
Else can you
see all 3 of these, like all these GH heroes. Just all right, we need to ban around the supports.
Yeah, we better pick a hero for him in the first phase, or that guy's going to be gone too, probably.
Yeah.
So
makes you wonder what the other cores could be for Liquid. You know, that Lone Druid. Ever since you mentioned that yesterday, I've been thinking, will we see a pocket Lone Druid pick? This is maybe potentially the game for it. You know, no holds barred in this situation. If you've got a pocket strat, you need to pull it out because life in the tournament is what's on the line.
It's felt like a lot of those heroes that Matumba Man and No-Tail as well, there's kind of been some mirroring consistencies, I feel, between the OG games and the Liquid games in terms of like Matumba Man not feeling enabled and No-Tail not feeling enabled. Like these, they tend to be space makers or something, right? Where like they're trying to create all this space for Liquid, it's going to be Miracle and Mind Control, and Matu kind of sacks that a little bit, but Matu just, in those last couple of games, hasn't really felt that power. I don't know. It's not like that normal Matu that I kind of expect. So maybe putting him, instead of like that Space Maker, like that Venomancer that we saw, maybe put him on something like the Lycan. Put him on something like the old Lone Druid that you're talking about here.
Yeah, and even though the Venomancer's damage was really impressive, I think they did the right item build to synergize around the team. It does feel like Veno is just a little slow to come online. It doesn't have quite the same impact as some of the other Matu heroes. I would definitely like to see them give him someone that can take more of a driver's seat. That last game, though, might not have been the best example because that was the Veno versus Timbersaw matchup mid, and that is very, very lopsided.
Yeah.
Very much in favor of the Timbersaw.
Yeah, he had an easy time. Question is, are they going to remove the Kuro Chen that we also had? Chen, probably the strongest support, I think. But at the same time, they already have the Witch Doctor, who's considered a fairly good counter.
It's true.
But is it still worth letting them have it? Letting Kuro, like, sandwich into your lanes early on?
It is potentially scary, right? Because Chen is one of those heroes. He helps lanes and he moves around a lot, but in some ways, he's not always able to respond to ganks the same way that a Sand King and Witch Doctor can, right? They have a lot more flexibility in lane. I would be a little nervous to grab the Chen here, just thinking that Sand King Witch Doctor could play around it very effectively. And even Sand King's not that bad at clearing out Chen creeps. He's got a lot of AoE damage.
Yeah, it certainly looks like Vici are trying to figure out exactly what the rest of their strategy is going to be, what hero could stop that, what are the heroes we want in the next phase, and they will take care of one of those Matu heroes.
Taking out the Pugna. We talked about those icky green heroes, the Viper, Pugna, and then Venomancer, the third one kind of on that list, but as we've seen, Pugna, very difficult hero to play around, especially if he gets early momentum, not only the pushing prowess, but his ability to just deny farm with the decrep. Definitely understand why they want to take him out of the pool, as Liquid settle on Razor as their 5th ban.
So we lost our Dragonite in the early game, or the early part of this draft, rather, but we still have the Death Prophet, as you're mentioning. We still have the OD, if we can find a way to enable him for Ori. Just some of these heroes that you want to try and kind of carry this game with. What about those other sneakier heroes for Vici Gaming, too, though? We brought up the Alchemist a couple times. Something they like to bring out, something that did defeat Liquid previously at Katowice. That's actually how they took one of their games.
Okay.
And the Underlord, who has also been banned out a lot of those second phases, still remaining here. Could be a great pickup for either side.
Underlord's been one of the unsung heroes of this tournament. I think he's only been picked 5 times, but he has a 100% win rate right now. He has not dropped a single match in this tournament. Obviously not the most relevant stat with only a 5 sample size, but just pointing to Underlord being a pretty hard force to deal with. You know, if he has a good start, this hero farms so quickly. He allows you to take objectives like Roche very easily with the Firestorm. He can become very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, he's also got one of those really awkward abilities that it's really hard to gauge how impactful it is in a game, the Atrophy Aura. You know, max level, that's a 40% damage reduction.
Yep.
And you're just thinking, like, you know, you don't really see it, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like the null field from Rubik. You know it has an effect, but there's no real visualization attached to it. And also Dark Rift gives you a lot of big play potential in terms of Rat, in terms of going all in for a Tier 3 tower and then getting a safe taxi vehicle to bring you back home. Definitely allows some creativity in your movements.
And if you ever want to talk about like annoying Matu heroes like that Lone Druid or any of these Pugna-esque heroes that obviously he's removed, but something that creates that split push scenario, the Lycan, that is something that the Underlord can help out with. So with the Disruptor still left in the pool, they're going to go with that Ancient Apparition instead, going to try and help whittle away onto this Underlord, and possibly even a little bit of a block up against the possibilities of the Alchemist here too. Not wanting to reveal one of their cores, but getting that AA for themselves, just saying, like, we know you had this Underlord out last time. Not going to let that happen this time. I don't think so.
Ancient Apparition. Another one of the more popular support picks, no doubt, as Vici go back for the puck. So, again, pretty open-ended here. I guess maybe not as open-ended. You think Puck could be an off-laner, but you know Underlord's going to be playing that role. So seems like 4 Sand King, 5 Witch Doctor, 3 Underlord, position 2 Puck in the mid, and then we'll just be looking for that position 1 safe lane carry for Vici.
Paparazzi can just kind of figure out that final hero. Terrorblade is still in the pool, will likely be the ban from Liquid, and we'll have to find a different option for Paparazzi. But yeah, down with the puck. Let's Ori be extremely active. Kind of that same idea of the double bubble where you're working with the pit as well as the Dream Coil, and then that's going to help set up for casks. Keeps everyone enclosed, sets up for a good 2-man burrow strikes, easy game. So just kind of building off to, we can have a good team fight. We have good split push with Sand King, Underlord, and Puck. This is just an extremely well-balanced draft, but they don't do some things fantastically. They don't tower push very well. They take Roche okay because of the Underlord Firestorm, but you still kind of need that core to add on to that as well. Just kind of a jack of all trades sort of lineup here from both sides, really.
Yeah, I do agree with you that Terrorblade feels like almost a perfect last pick for Vici, though. He has a lot of trouble sticking on targets, and Puck, Underlord, Witch Doctor, Sand King all have ways to keep people locked in place so he can lay in the damage. But Liquid will grab their carry. It's the Lifestealer, so a bit of magic immunity on their side.
Yeah, puts some pressure on the Mind Control hero as well to be a bit mobile. Don't really have a good option other than like an Earth Spirit roll-in or something for Infest ganks if you want to really make the most out of this
which is
Lifestealer.
Okay, right? Lifestealer, Earth Spirit can be an alright combo.
But you want some. You need the blink. Come on, let's go. I mean, you can get the blink on Earth Spirit. It just takes a while, but...
Yeah, you know, at first I was thinking Queen of Pain, right? Could be a last pick for Liquid, but as we talked about yesterday, it feels like that Quap versus Puck matchup has shifted from being kind of a break-even to pretty heavily Puck-favored.
Yeah, Liquid's last hero, assumedly for Mind Control. Be pretty weird for it not to be. They will get rid of the Beastmaster, which they have played quite a bit, but I don't know. It's
I guess right. So it'll be a mid gyrocopter then. Yeah.
Yeah, or the mid Lifestealer we've been seeing quite a bit as well. You just dual lane a mid.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. That works.
Depending on what the matchups are.
So yeah, they ban out the Beastmaster. So it looks like you're absolutely right about that. What is the ideal offlaner here for Liquid? Something like a Tidehunter have too long of a cooldown to play around, do you think? They are a little bit light on reliable stuns, so somebody that can help break up these team fights I think is going to be much needed.
There's still the bat, but then there's the issue of they have the core ready for Vici. They've banned out the Jug already, who's considered pretty good against Bat Rider in lane, I suppose. They could take care of another anti-Bat hero here, perhaps, and then go for that for Mind Control. That could be all right. Tiny has actually made its way all the way through. Could go with a Mind Control Tiny. That would be relatively all right.
Yeah. At Nature's Prophet, we've seen a lot, but I don't think he fits in with this draft the way they would like. Final ban from Liquid, though, will be on the Faceless Void, and now Liquid will have to decide. Vici will have that luxury of the final pick to react here.
A lot of Brood games lately for Liquid.
Don't you think Liquid need a little more control?
Yeah, but if they think they could get through with it, I don't really like the Brood here. Against the Underlord, the Puck, the Sink, and there's so many ways to clear it out. I would go with that. I'm in for the bat pick.
And it's Enchantress.
Okay.
So one that we'd mentioned earlier on in the draft. We've actually seen her banned a fair bit in this tournament. Not picked so much, but all right, it'll work.
Lots of damage. Control definitely still a little bit light, but if she can just get a couple lances in, that might be enough to pop someone into the area of just dying from AA.
And a little bit of sustainability for the team. So now final pick for Vici. They'll have only a couple seconds left, and it's the CK. So they take a big bad bruiser for Paparazzi in the safe lane. And we were mentioning, hey, this draft, if there's one thing it doesn't have is pushing prowess, well, I don't think that's going to be a problem anymore, Trent. Phantasm is one hell of a pushing spell.
Yeah, not too bad. We've looked at heroes that have been countering Lifestealer lately, not feeling too hot. You know, Sven, I guess people used to look towards. You just try and chunk this guy down. Don't worry too much about his right-click damage. Not the best hero right now. CK, he offers a lot of burst. They don't have good AoE at all because they last picked that Enchantress. It's basically just the Gyrocopter, which is cool, but you're assuming that he's probably going to be a little bit poor this game. It is a Matu hero. You know, Miracle is probably going to be the one who's going to be accelerated the most, so the Gyro can't just like independently blow up all these illusions. You don't really want to throw an AA Ice Blast or something. So
yeah, and especially if Paparazzi has a pretty good start on the CK. He tends to build very beefy, relatively tanky items, so those Phantasm illusions will be kind of hard to deal with.
He can take one of them. He'll just grab that thing.
Well, there you go. That's
one down, guys. I got this under control.
Which draft are you favoring here? Because I have to say, I'm liking this Vici draft. I think they've just got very good team fight, a lot of really spammable stuns. I think Liquid are going to struggle in some of those mid-game engagements.
Yeah, I don't see that dominating Enchantress lane that I really want, right? That's when you feel very good about the hero. You're like, oh man, how are they ever going to kill her in lane? They have the Witch Doctor, they have the Sand King, and they also have a setup stun from the CK too. So Mind Control could have a rough time, and he's going to have to be enabled by like an Earth Spirit or an AA. I'm a little sketched out by that. I like the Vici draft too, but they obviously they're momentum based from Liquid, right? They want to get things going, get those infest ganks rocking and rolling early on from GH, and Mind Control just running things down. So they have the snowball potential. You know, what if CK has a bad time? How does he catch back up?
And there is a lot of late game potential on Liquid, right? Like Lifestealer, Gyrocopter, AA, 3 heroes that scale very, very well into the late game. So here we are, folks. This is the first game of the day. 9 best-of-1s as we've come to day 4, the final day of the Bucharest Major Group Stage. We've had a lot of exciting Dota, and hopefully today we'll continue down that path. As everyone heads to their lanes, Vici grouped up as 5 in the bottom. They are going to pop a smoke. Looks like they're going to move in, see if they can find a first blood.
Well, Liquid heroes are in the area here.
Miracle going to be the one that pops the smoke. Lanham going to be the first one to lose it. He's going to hide in the tree line here. Great movements from Miracle will keep him safe, and Vici will not find that first blood that they are looking for. Meanwhile, on the other side, Liquid looking to invade some runes. GH alongside Mind Control will probably be a 2-2 bounty split. All right. And,
so lane setups then. It looks like it is going to be Mind Control up top. Are they going to try and match up against him? Are they going to go up to the Lifestealer? That'll be the question. It looks like they're going to send Paparazzi down bot. Fight on into Miracle. They did spot him. I don't know if they're assuming there's going to be rotation. No, they have vision. They still see Miracle. So they are aware that they're going to be fighting into him. So slow down Miracle. And that kind of takes away a lot of their game plan.
Oh, gets a bounce onto Kuro. Paparazzi with the Reality Rift, but follow up just a couple of love taps to make sure they grab that bounty rune. It will indeed be a 1-1 split. Mind Control grabbing both on the north side of the map, and down here, Lanham able to pick up 2. So off to an even start as the creeps spawn. It will be that aggro tri-lane out of Vici, as you were just mentioning. CK with his supporting cast will be going up against a safe lane try from Liquid, with Kuro and GH here supporting Miracle. So that means mid lane, we're going to have Ori versus Matumba Man, the Gyro on AA. And up top, it'll be Mind Control versus 11, at least for now. So Enchantress should have a pretty okay time against this Underlord.
Yeah, that's kind of the trade-off, too, where we're thinking that, you know, they might actually be able to take down the old Enchantress with that trio that they had, but instead they'd rather slow down Miracle. And it's just like, yeah, as you said, it's not going to be too bad for either of them. Obviously, Enchantress is going to farm and Underlord's going to farm, but they're all right trading with that. If there's not going to really be a frontliner for Liquid if there is no Miracle. If he's under-farmed and he can't really be in these engagements, sure, you want to space yourself as both Gyro and Enchantress, but if there's no one in between, you're just going to run into them. You know, there's not going to be much slowing them down.
No, that's actually a really good point. You look at this Liquid lineup, and of course they have a lot of damage, but Lifestealer really is their front line. You look at Vici, you've got Underlord and CK, and also the Sand King in some ways. He's often an initiator that likes to jump in, start off fights with a stun. They have a great front line. They've got a lot of beefcakes that can absorb that damage to start off fights. Down bottom, we will see some initiation rolling in onto Fenrir. Now Lanham, the one taking some auto attacks, will be able to burrow strike back. Now open wounds from Miracle. Cask bouncing around. Lanham taking a lot of damage here, and the first blood will come. GH will get that bonus gold on the Earth Spirit.
Oh man, Vici just, not only is this trio nice because they're trying to slow down Miracle, but you're forcing an Earth Spirit into the lane too, which also feels great, right? You know, he wants to be camping mid, trying to maybe force some plays onto the puck or something, or he could be helping the Enchantress top, but by drawing him in here, this is supposed to go well for you for Vici, and they've actually lost the kill. You don't expect Earth Spirit to do very well in those tri-lanes.
Yeah, you're definitely right. That is the Earth Spirit classic, right? Pressure the mid, make sure this puck doesn't free farm, and open up a little bit of space for that gyrocopter. Down bottom again, initiation onto Fenrir. He's very low as he gets kicked back, and Miracle will be able to finish him off, but GH might have to pay with his life. Vici will not continue to pursue, and they get another one on the scoreboard. 2-0 already.
Yeah, well, as bad as Earth Spirit might be in some tri-lanes, you know who's not bad? That would be Ancient Apparition.
That's very true.
The Chilling Touch has been buffed numerous times, and at this point it's borderline broken, but we don't see that many tri-lanes with the hero anymore. So
well, now Miracle initiated on Burrow Strike to follow up. The Cask is there, and even though his supports were able to grab both bounty runes, Vici sees the opportunity and find a counter kill on Miracle.
Yeah, exactly. Nice read from them. They have that ward down near those bounty runes, so they kind of saw what was going on, and they actually watched it in their face as GH stole their own bounty rune from Lan M, so they'll be very pleased with the situation.
Yeah, mid lane seems relatively even. Ori maintaining a small CS lead, but nothing that Matumba Man can't recover from. And with a solo mid gyrocopter, pretty okay to trade farm, I think.
Yeah, not too shabby. Ori, what's he at? 82 damage as well. So, yeah, Matu's doing quite well, considering the damage discrepancy at this point. Like, he should not be getting, honestly, that much farm at all.
83 on the puck versus the 68 on the gyrocopter.
Yeah, that's after just getting his ring.
Yeah, it might not sound like a lot, but on the pro level, that is a huge discrepancy. Up top, Underlord in a lot of trouble. Mind Control almost able to find this kill. 11 trying to turn and maybe get off that last auto attack, but it will be a solo up top, and the Enchantress now kind of dominating this 1v1 matchup.
Yeah, he's a little boxed in here with no tangles. There you go. Dances his way out of there. But nicely done. If anyone was going to win this matchup, you'd definitely expect it to be the Enchantress, just because, you know, what are you going to do? You can't really even use Atrophy Aura to your benefit because she's going to walk away from you. And she's not just going to stand in the Firestorm, so...
And 11. She's pretty fast, so she's able to move out of it very easily.
Yeah.
But he's tanky on the way for her. So do you think Vici may consider a lane switch up? It looks like the CK is farming pretty evenly with the Lifestealer. So in terms of momentum, those two are about a wash. But it seems like now 11 is getting bullied a little bit in this lane. Experience is still very close, but...
He stole both bounty runes at the very least.
Yeah, that's something. That'll help. Not an experience, but will help with the gold. But back to farming we go. GH, he's going to be able to grab a haste rune here at the bottom, so maybe a kill opportunity for the Earth Spirit. This could be one of the first rotations towards mid we see once he decides to pick this up. However, Lanham on the high ground, he will scout it out. Going to send the warning to his team, and immediately you see Paparazzi and Fenrir start to back up a little bit and maintain a more defensive posture.
Ever since those early kills, everything's slowed down a little bit. We just kind of wait for, well, honestly, Ori, I guess. He's kind of our playmaker, you know? He's about to be level 6, so if they want to play any more aggressive dives onto, like, the Switch Doctor or onto Lan M, you're going to be expecting a rotation from Ori. But Mind Control and 11, neither of them really looking to move, right? They just want to chill.
Yeah. I suppose you're right. Honestly, this is one of the quietest early games in terms of rotations I think you and I have cast yet this tournament.
Yeah, we've been having some wild ones.
Certainly been a number of kills, but this has been pretty locked 1-1-3 lane setup for both sides. We haven't seen a single support rotate mid yet, which seems so rare in the first 5 minutes of this meta.
Yeah, and the more levels get stacked up on these tri-lane versus tri-lane bottom, the more, to me, it favors Vici. AA is really sick in those first couple levels, like the chilling touch and everything, but it kind of starts to wear off in comparison to someone like, the Cask gets leveled up, the Maledict gets leveled up, more points into Burrow Strike. These things are quite a bit more terrifying to me than extra levels in Earth Spirit and AA.
Yeah, that's very true. I guess Cold Feet does scale relatively well. That stun goes from 2 seconds to 3.5, certainly does a bit more damage. But yeah, you're absolutely right. And a try-on-try, getting those extra bounces on Cask feels very scary. Still pretty even farm down here. Reality Rift onto Miracle, but I don't know if Vici actually want to engage into this. Looks like it was a good bait as Lanham just gets dropped. They've got the Sentry Ward. Cask is starting to bounce. They get the 1 second stun onto Miracle after the Maledict. Now the puck is rotated down. Dream Coil. They want this Life Stealer, and they will find him. A 1-for-1 trade. What started off pretty good for Liquid ends up going the other way as Ori makes a rotation, and immediately Lanham heads mid to try to absorb some of that experience.
Yeah, that's all they were waiting on. And Maledict again, this spell is pretty good. Cannot be dispelled.
Oh no, Lanham, he gets stunned up by Matumba Man. Now the call down, he does not have a Burrow Strike, and it's going to end up being a feed to this Gyrocopter.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, Ori had to TP down, make the kill happen, bunch of other heroes there, and so in response, Sinking went mid after his death, trying to help, save that tower a little bit, and he just feeds the kill to Matu. So that whole rotation from Ori just gets negated essentially.
Yeah. Again, initiation onto Miracle. He'll have the Rage this time, so he'll be able to survive the initial onslaught. GH TPing back down. This Paparazzi puts a little damage on the tower. Maledict did connect, so this Lifestealer is pretty low on HP. However, Ancient Apparition's on the other side. Rolling Boulder will not connect, nice. But Fenrir trapped in the trees. Cold Feet comes, and there is no way for that Witch Doctor to make it out. Another kill going the way of Team Liquid.
Yeah, and Miracle had the Salve. He's got 4 more Tangos, 2 plus his 1, so not too worried about all that harassment they took. Up top, 11 hasn't died again, which is good. Yeah, nice for them.
Mind Control is really out-leveling him, though. He's about to be level 8, and 11 only partway through 6.
I mean, the level 6 changes everything. When the Enchantress has that, I mean, that's just a stupid amount of damage that 11 just can't tank enough, even as such a beefy hero. Yeah. And we talk about, like, Atrophy Aura, not going to help against Impetus.
It does mean, though, Enchantress is farming very nicely. She's actually the leading farmer on the side of Liquid right now, and as we've seen, she can scale fairly potently.
Yeah, and it kind of shows why Liquid didn't dodge, I guess, at the same time. They felt confident enough in this whole trial lane that they have had. It has worked out. Miracle is ahead of Paparazzi right now, and they're getting the better trade and offlaners.
They have definitely done a good job keeping Miracle from just balling out of control. They've put some pressure on, and I think for Vici, this bottom lane is at least a break even, and they can be happy with that. Armlet going to be on the way for Lifestealer, and it looks like CK has the same thing queued up, so it will be a battle of those timings. Now back in the top lane, pressure onto Mind Control. Another rotation from Ori. They drop the Dream Coil. They've got the magic damage, and this time the Enchantress will fall. When she's locked in place like that, that Firestorm doing a hell of a lot of damage.
Oh, Paparazzi, though.
Yep, Cold Feet will connect, but Fenrir with the rotation as well as Lanham. They'll connect with the stun onto Miracle. Now the Reality Rift back, and the 2-second Chaos Bolt. Maledict, the Cask, they should have enough damage to finish off this Lifestealer. We'll have a Rage in just a couple of seconds here. Sentry Ward comes down again, so Sandstorm from Lanham not going to do much. Call down from Matu, trying to find yet another kill on the Sand King, and it will be successful. Reality Rift into the tower, stun comes out, but minimal damage on the Gyro. Great rotations from both mids so far.
Top lane as well, roll onto 11. Time for some impetuses.
Yeah, good use of the Pit of Malice, but only level 1, so it doesn't slow them down that much. GH trying to body block, but not quite there. There's the stun, and Mind Control will finish off the kill. As that was happening down bottom, Paparazzi gets killed by the Gyrocopter. So Liquid starting to pull ahead here, Trent. Domination.
Looks like they must have thought he left the lane or something and came back in. Just another kill from Matu like that is brutal.
Yeah. Puck is still #1 on net worth, about 500 ahead of the Gyrocopter, so Ori's rotations have definitely given him a bit more. But just as I say that, GH comes in, drops the stun, drops the silence, and the Fairy Dragon will be put to rest. A dominating streak secured for Matu's Gyrocopter.
10-3 at this point, the 2K lead. And, yeah, Mind Control is just going to be, well, completely out of control in a game like this. Can't get too much pressure on the tower, though, because it is an Underlord. So at the very least, 11 has that going for him. But if they rotate up this Earth Spirit once more, shouldn't be too difficult of a kill. They are quite happy to dive towers, but he has no TP either on 11, which is why Mind Control is just running in, too. Come along, Wave. I want to push this the best way possible. I have 4 points in Untouchable, so I'll just freely do this. No damage.
Absolutely. Now for Vici, this laning phase, definitely not going that well. I still think their power really comes in those mid-game fights. Once they get all those ultimates out and they're able to really put their whole team working in tandem. However, they are losing quite a bit in this early stage.
This is hilarious, dude. 11's just sitting in these trees. It's just constantly in the same little box.
Bottom, smoke rotation from Vici. They're going to go right in onto Miracle. The level 6 Lifestealer is silenced, not able to get an Invest Bomb, but Matu's right there, finds a double off the bat, and now they'll jump in onto Ori. I don't think he's going to be able to make it out here as the Magnetize flies. Triple kill for Matumba Man. As Vici take one step forward, it's 3 steps back, and that gold lead grows even further for the Radiant.
Feels like they have no mid laner. There is just a gyro down bottom all the time, right? Yeah. He's never in mid. Where's this guy going? So 11 goes there to soak it up. He's going to allow Mind Control to push in that tower up top, but 100% worth it for the side of Liquid.
I mean, look at the net worth now. Just moments ago, the puck was 500 up on the Gyrocopter. Now Gyrocopter is 700 ahead of the puck. That's a huge swing in just 3 minutes.
Yeah, there are still concerns for Miracle, I do feel like, in terms of this mid-game, but this is going to be one of those rare games where it feels like Miracle will be the one who's sacked.
So 11 now initiated onto the mid as GH goes rolling in. Homing missile to follow up. Rocket barrage. The beefy Underlord just gets melted.
Yeah, giving away way too many kills right now. They're just rotating so quickly from side Liquid, and I guess just the vision's not quite there from Vici. Not really aware as to where these cores are going.
Puck does have the Veil of Discord now, so some extra stats up on Ori and extra armor. Not going to do so much against Mind Control as he is putting in a lot of damage. Puck uses the Dream Coil, drops the rotation, and actually has the magic damage to finish off the Ench. Nicely done by Ori to know his limits there, and does find a solo kill. However, they do lose that mid-tier 1 tower to Miracle.
Yeah, Mind Control was playing with that confidence there just because he had GH there, but not enough. So bottom lane, they will trade for the bot. Oh, maybe not. Actually, Matu's coming through, and he just burrow striked on Line M.
Oh, Ice Blast ready to fly through as well. Call down. They are going to defend this tower. On the backside, Miracle bumps into Paparazzi, and Paparazzi will just drop the stun to secure the bounty rune for himself. A lot of enemy heroes nearby. Lanham on the high ground, but I don't think Miracle's too intimidated. He's actually going to throw in a couple of right clicks and try to bait a fight that Vici chooses not to take.
Well, they've definitely slowed down that CK to the point that we were hoping for in terms of like the game that you would want to see out of Liquid for them to be successful. It's shutting him down. He's going to be very slow to farm. Even when he gets into the armlet, you need this item on CK because it's so good for making your Phantasm stronger. But it doesn't always feel that amazing against AA. You know, you kind of lose out on a couple of the bonuses that are there.
Yeah, never feels good to grab Armlet against Ancient Apparition. That is very true. But it still feels like that core item on CK that's also hard to pass up. Yeah. Down bottom, Liquid grouped up as 4. They're leaving that Ancient Apparition in the mid to soak up some experience and farm. Looks like they want to pressure this tower, but not committing too much to it. At least not yet. Just letting Matu chip away. Waiting to see how much Vici will react here. Here's the surprise inside. GH jumps forward onto the Witch Doctor. Infest comes out, and he will fall during the duration of the silence. Now Lanham, he is dusted up, so no Sandstorm to reset. It's going to be a double. Miracle grabs 2. Vici still in some trouble. Call down, and actually going to find the Underlord on top of it all. Matumba Man is way too big.
Or he has to drop a coil on an AA and doesn't get anything for it. They are just, you know, they're playing that super fast pace that you want to see at a Liquid. Very impressive.
Trent, this is getting out of control. 17-5 in 14 minutes. It went from a very static laning phase to just rotations erupting all over the map, and this Gyrocopter has benefited so much from all those kills. And right now, Matumba Man is 8-0-1 in KDA.
Unbelievable. Great rotations. Honestly, like the Miracle and the No One Gyrocopters have been the 2 best ones for rotating around the map. So Matu taking some notes here from his teammate. And as we said, just basically in the bottom lane the entire time. The more these towers that get knocked down, the faster that Blink Dagger is going to appear for GH too. And that's he'll just be our Infest carrier. They've gotten that momentum that you want to see for this to be successful.
Oh, they dust Lanham again. He's got the Burrow Strike to get out, but Ice Blast going to fly ahead. It will connect onto the Witch Doctor, secures the kill there, and it's an easy double. Godlike now for Matumba, and Kuro getting credit for that kill on Fenrir.
Liquid. The early morning games have been kind for Liquid. That's up against LFY, first of the day I think it was. Now here once more, first of the day.
Morning team. Dream Coil onto Kuro. He's going to lose the Ancient Apparition here. That'll happen from time to time. Still plenty of burst damage. The coil firestorm combo is definitely enough to find that kill. A little pick-me-up for Vici, but they're going to need a bit more than that. Paparazzi going for the TP out. The stun is going to be there in time from GH. Oh, nicely done. And this might be another freebie on the Chaos Knight as Matu brings his gyrocopter in and executes the rocket barrage.
Yeah, rocket barrage. Just canceling any hopes of armlet toggling there from our CK.
Wow. And we're seeing a further variation on this gyro build. Even skipping the drums altogether, it was tread drum BKB, and now it's tread bracer BKB from Matumba.
The only way they get back in this game is if they reality rift the gyrocopter, use the phantasms, and dump all their spells on top of him. He just dies, and then that's gonna like break apart the whole fight for Liquid. So he's just getting his BKB ready, and yeah, you can see right here with Paparazzi. So close to TPing, 0.2 seconds left or so on the stun when GH flies on through.
Yeah.
And no toggles possible with the rocket barrage there.
Yeah, so much burst damage. And now Roche going to be the choice for Liquid. Ench going to go ahead and tank it up with the Centaur Conqueror. And I don't think Vici will be able to contest this. Looking at Vici vision, they really don't have much around the pit, so might not be aware of what's going on. But regardless, it will be a Roche going the way of Liquid.
All they can do is just try and catch up Paparazzi, but not the best high ground team. It's kind of okay. You have Firestorm, you can clear waves, you can dance around the map with your puck, try and pop some of these waves and catch the creeps before they get to your towers or something like that. But for the most part, looks like pretty smooth sailing here for Team Liquid. Yeah. Just need to keep executing here. Don't mess up on their initiations. We already know it's not like the most reliable setups. If
you were the Vici coach right now and you were somehow able to talk to them during a live game, what would you say to turn this around? I mean, what is the win condition for Vici right now? Because it feels like everything's coming up Liquid.
It's tough. It's like...
I mean, is there a win condition?
I mean, if they keep 5-manning, it's going to be extremely difficult like this, right?
Underlord. He's supposed to be the beefy one, Trent. He's supposed to be their frontline tank that can absorb a little bit of that damage so the carries can do some return damage. And he just feels like a non-factor right now.
Yeah, the way back into this game is definitely just pickoffs. You want to use this death ward as well as the Sand King, blow people up, but they're just 5-manning around the map like this. You can't really initiate into them because they're so much stronger than you. So all you can do is split push, and Puck's doing exactly that in the mid lane. CK's doing that down bot, but this doesn't feel very good.
I mean, look at this. They're high ground already with Underlord down for another 10. Vici not really in a great position to defend. CK's still in the bottom lane. This tower is already taking about
in here. He's thinking
half
about
HP. They did use the glyph on that tier 2.
Oh, the long bomb. Oh, Fenrir's not going to go back.
Yeah, AI Ice Blast not get hit, but they're going to get a tier 3 tower at 18 minutes here. No glyph to turn this around. They're going to start laying into the barracks, and focusing on melee makes me think that Liquid want to stick around to finish it off.
Creeps, though.
Ori did cut the creeps indeed, but GH scouts him out, hits him with a stun, the silence. The roll is going to be off the mark, but Puck will be able to phase shift and jaunt away.
They're just driving him off the wave, though, because now they can go back in with this one. But Underlord's here in time. He needs to clear this as fast as possible. He's been stunned, though. They're not going to dive quite in time.
Going to make a little bit of space. Matu going very aggressive here. He does have the BKB and the Aegis. Pops the BKB now. Wants to commit to this melee barracks and finish it off, but it might be a little bit tough. Pit of Malice from Underlord right in the middle of the lane will make this push difficult, and Liquid make the call to retreat and go back to farming.
That is actually quite the hold from Vici, not losing that melee racks. They really wanted it from Liquid, but at the very least they can get some shrines up, and they got some decent split push going the bottom lane, chipped away at that tower. So they're doing what they have to do, but 11 dying really hurt them at that tier 2. Maybe just give that up or something. And tons of pressure on Ori this game, just keep cutting every single wave that he can.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly the right play if you're the Puck right there. Almost getting picked off. I think if that rolling boulder connects, maybe Ori would have died there. And if that were the case, Liquid definitely secures that mid lane of barracks. So well done, but living life on the edge is now we'll see Paparazzi farming away some Ancients. He's got his Echo Saber queued up, but still a little ways away. As we've mentioned many a time in the past, Trent, CK not a carry that plays well from behind. When you look at net worth, he's certainly not flourishing. His Underlord nipping at his heels in terms of net worth farm.
Well, he is and he isn't. He doesn't farm well from behind in terms of neutrals, but he can hit those big comeback kills because he has so much damage even with like a lower net worth. So
very true.
In that sense, he can be a comeback hero if you find the right fight. It's just Liquid are doing a very good job. I mean, look at them. They haven't left each other's sides this whole time. No one is splitting up.
Well, and usually there's a drawback to this. You're moving around as 5. The opportunity cost is less experience, less gold farm. But Vici have kind of been able to have not been able to capitalize on that because Liquid have done such a good job finding kills with every rotation. They take the risk, but it pays off as they jump in again onto Underlord. blink your eye and you would have missed it. The beefcake falls.
Oh, the
Witch Doctor dies to the flat cannon. We saw that yesterday. A little bit of backdoor protection will keep Vici safe, but 2 heroes down, no buybacks available, and as the creeps enter the base, mid lane of Barracks will fall. Still a tier 2 tower standing in the bottom, so they won't be able to get megas or anything like that, but maybe Liquid head top and try to grab another lane of Barracks, sort of assuming that these buybacks might not be possible. They've got the advantage. CK trying to split push down bottom. He's done a lot of damage to that tier 2. He will TP home now to mount this defense as the Witch Doctor comes. He'll also pick up that Blink Dagger and Glyph cooling down. They'll use it straight away to try and save this tier 3 tower. Maybe with this Blink Dagger, CK can find a surprise initiation. Drums pop to try the retreat. Cask bouncing all around from hero to hero. Not the best delta split from Liquid. It's hot potato.
Oh my God,
they just keep handing it back and forth.
It hit all 5 heroes.
It's a dank cask, but I don't know if it matters all that much.
No, unfortunately, it does not. Not for Vici Gaming here. And yeah, I like stopping that push down bottom. Just everyone's back in the base, and where's your split push now?
Aegis very close to expiring on Matumba Man, so needs to be aware of that timing here. Underlord again initiated on. Ice Blast will finish him off. There's the Aegis utilized. In the grave for 45, no buyback as Paparazzi jumps in, tries to go in onto Kuro, gets the stun, but Force Staff keeps the AA alive, and it'll end up being a death for the Chaos Knight. Another hero down, no buyback in 30 seconds of a 5v3. Here, this could be a final hold from Vici. They need this damage as the epicenter comes in, but Liquid are just surviving through it. Batu is too big, the BKB, and the GG. 21 minutes, 28-6. Liquid stay alive as Vici get eliminated.
Yeah, this was a game that, honestly, you can see the strategy from Vici. It does make sense in terms of like what the hero composition was supposed to do, but we saw the window. We discussed that if Liquid are going to win this game, they definitely have a chance to just snowball it and go like crazy. So the lane setup was perfect for Liquid, honestly. Like the Enchantress had a free early start, and if anyone was going to have a rough time, it was going to be the Lifestealer. But they played that tri-lane really well, especially in the first couple levels. And then Vici, because you have this Underlord, he's definitely a do-nothing hero. I mean, you know, Cap will be very happy to hear that term, especially about that hero. But like the whole idea behind the Underlord is that Puck was supposed to be essentially the offlaner. This is why that hero has moved into an offlane role, because it makes sense. You make a lot of rotations, you make plays happen, you're an initiator. Ori did not get enough done in this game. It's just like, no way, if you have an Underlord like this and you're this mid-Puck, you have to do more than 1 kill, 4 assists. And maybe that's not his fault. It was tough rotations, but they didn't execute in those early fights. They didn't make those big plays that they needed. And the game's just out of control at that point.
Yeah, I think if the laning stage is a little bit more of a break even, once you get into the mid game, Vici could have found a big advantage, but it felt like they sort of lost every lane in a way. You know, the Enchantress dominated the top lane. When you look at that safe lane or the bottom lane, the try-on-try obviously went the way of Liquid with those rotations from Matumba Man. Matumba Man didn't really win the 1v1 matchup mid, but his rotations allowed him to get so much more farm that he was leagues ahead of the Puck.
Yeah, Puck was ahead when it started, obviously, in terms of like last hits and everything, had that damage. But in terms of who utilized their farm in the mid lane better, there's no question it was Matumba Man. He's the one who had the bigger impact on the side lanes.
So we've got some highlights to take a look at. I can't imagine there's too many, but was a quick one. I mean, we're all pretty surprised. We thought this would be a slugfest.
This play
These
was just
two
ridiculous.
Goliaths. And huge damage from Matumba Man. This is where he ends up getting that triple kill, I believe. You see GH use the Magnetize. It's just an overwhelming amount of damage.
Yeah, Matumba Man completely out of control this game.
We talked about the Infest Bomb carrier in the Earth Spirit. Traditionally, not always the best carrier, but Liquid made it work here.
Yeah, it is GH, I guess. Yeah, he seems
GH
fairly good. I mean, look at that Ice Blast, too. Just hitting 11 out of nowhere, and allows Matu to get the simple kill.
Yeah. Easy chase down. It just felt like there was never a moment when this gyrocopter felt pressured. This was the great interrupt from GH. Miracle finds this kill, and as Matumba Man comes in, there is no way to armlet toggle back to safety. Tough game for Paparazzi. And CK just needs a little bit more to come online. This was that final fight. CK, he grabbed the Blink Dagger, and I think it's an interesting thought at that stage. Like, hey, maybe I can at least catch someone. I need to spend this gold. The game might end, but couldn't even get Kuro. Right, he is that squishy one in the back line, and still the Ancient Apparition was able to survive. And at 21 minutes, it's a full team wipe. Barracks fall, and that's it. Liquid take the win.
And you don't have many games that stomp out like that bad. So it's so early on in the game. But there were all these moments where things that are supposed to happen when you're down in those situations that pro teams are very good at doing just get instantly stopped. Like the top lane when Paparazzi was pushing like that. He was relatively safe. He was near the tier 2. There's supposed to be a response. He's supposed to like survive long enough that people are going to get there, create some sort of a fight that could have gone bad for Liquid. Obviously, he just got blown up because of the good rotations from GH. And in terms of that split pushing we saw from Ori, where he's cutting creeps, and you have Paparazzi down bottom, and they're trying to create some sort of net worth and like punish this 5-man. We also had Mind Control, where he was just sending like Hellbears up on side lanes, just clapping creep waves. So this whole split push idea wasn't working. Even though they're a 5-man ball, never leaving each other, somehow they're still pushing in 2 lanes. It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
So scoreboard here, the final tally, 2 heroes on Liquid without a single death. GH 1-0-21. They had 28 kills, and he was involved in 22 of them. Kuro actually involved in 19 as well. But Matumba Man, the one with the big numbers, 14-0-6 in 22 short minutes.
In terms of the hero and lane given, I thought Matumba was just ridiculous. Excellent game from him. Good rotations getting all across the map, but certainly a team effort coming out here from Liquid. And those goals as Vici Gaming just did not happen. You know?
Yeah, a heartbreaker for Vici. You look at the damage done, and Puck was really the only one that felt like he was able to do a lot. I mean, Old 11 did put some decent damage up on the board, but as we mentioned a couple times, it just felt like that Underlord fell short in so many regards. Not a great matchup against the Enchantress. And then after that, every team fight, he was the first victim, first casualty.
We tend to overpraise supports, I think, and for the most part, this game, let's overflame. What did they do? What did Sand King and Witch Doctor do this whole game? Did you even know they were in this game? You probably didn't. You might have forgot. I forgot.
I think the most surprising part of that for me was Lanham on the Sand King. 1-8-1. He put out only 2.7k damage. This was a game, a very rare one, in fact, where Sand King just felt like a no-impact hero. And usually it's the opposite. Well,
we talked about like locking Earth Spirit into a tri-lane, how that's bad for him. The same can kind of be said about Sand King, especially if you don't win the tri-lane. I would have thought they would have won it, but they did not. Just played too well. So
MVP, Trent. I'm torn between Matumba Man and GH.
Matu. Give it to Matu.
Give it to
Are you kidding me? He's a gyrocopter. He's running across the whole map.
Yeah, he's only playing the most broken hero right now. Let's give him the MVP.
What? And, you know, you watch these other people play gyro, and they don't move across the map like that.
That's true. Gyro has lost a lot of games in this tournament, even though he's been picked a lot. So well-deserved here. Matumba Man looking fierce with a stunning performance there. Obviously, his team did set him up. GH and Kuro did a great job setting him up for success, but still, Matumba was the one that executed, found the rotations, and started to snowball.
He's just like hiding in the trees, man. He's camping in there. He's just like chilling out, having a fire or something, roasting some marshmallows. Like, oh, hey, there's 4 heroes bottom lane. This is exactly what I was waiting for. Let me just call down and combo a Puck, like completely full HP to death. So,
yeah. 15,000 damage on that gyrocopter. He did about as much damage as the Puck and Underlord combined by himself. So speaking to what he was able to do in that game. So, all right, folks, that's first game of the day. It was a quick one. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're coming back for match 2. I believe it's Complexity versus Newbie up next, so stick around because there is so much more Dota 2 coming your way here on the final day of the Bucharest Major Group Stage.